Imagine a future where every word spoken in a police interview is recorded, providing an indisputable account of what really happened. That future was promised to Singaporeans back in 2018 with the introduction of video recording of interviews (VRI) into the criminal justice system. Fast forward 6 years and we're left to wonder, is VRI living up to its promise of transparency and accountability? Or are we seeing a significant delay in what was envisioned to be a rapid transformation of law enforcement practices? Welcome to 2230. Stick around as we delve deep into the slow rollout of VRI in Singapore, uncovering the reasons behind the holdup and what it means for the nation's pursuit of justice. On November 13, Workers' Party Member of Parliament Jamus posed a critical question to Home Affairs and Law Minister K. Shanmugam. Lim wanted to know the status of VRI in law enforcement, highlighting the lack of widespread implementation despite it being introduced 6 years ago. The technology, initially rolled out in 2018, was supposed to bring about a wave of transparency, starting with interviews related to certain rape cases, and was expected to expand more broadly across the criminal justice system. However, 6 years down the line, the progress appears slower than anticipated. Shanmugam provided an update that shed light on both the advancements and the hurdles in expanding VRI. He reminded the Parliament that VRI began with rape cases in 2018, and since then, its scope has been extended to a broader range of serious crimes. These include serious sexual offences like aggravated outrage of modesty, sexual assault by penetration, child abuse, maid abuse, and non-capital drug-related offences. Moreover, the VRI was expanded to cover vulnerable suspects investigated for non-capital cases, specifically young suspects without an appropriate adult present and offenders with mental disabilities. Now, here is where things get interesting. Despite some notable progress, why hasn't VRI been implemented across all law enforcement cases, as was initially promised? Shanmugam acknowledged that while the ministry had expanded VRI further, including trafficking in persons and more sexual offences such as the sexual penetration of minors and procurement of sexual activity involving vulnerable individuals, the overall rollout was still lagging. He attributed this delay primarily to the resource-heavy nature of VRI. Conducting video-recorded interviews requires significantly more time from investigation officers compared to written statements. In addition, the interviews also necessitate extra administrative tasks, such as maintaining the functionality of VRI facilities and accurately transcribing video footage. The discussion becomes more intriguing when we look at the role of technology in addressing these challenges. Minister Shanmugam mentioned that while advancements like speech-to-text software could theoretically expedite the transcription process, the current technology has not yet achieved the level of accuracy needed to bypass the laborious verification process. As a result, a significant bottleneck remains in ensuring that these video records meet judicial standards without requiring excessive time and manpower. The ministry is considering bringing transcription capabilities in-house to ease the resource burden and potentially allow for a wider application of VRI. However, no definitive timeline has been provided on when these upgrades might take place or when VRI might be used more extensively, including for capital cases or interviews involving victims and witnesses. This lack of a clear roadmap brings us to a critical point. The promises made in 2018 painted a picture of rapid transformation, but today the reality is more about cautious progress due to operational limitations. It's worth reflecting on the initial optimism back in 2018 when Senior Minister of State for Law, Indranee Rajah, articulated the vision for VRI. She spoke about how video recordings would provide an objective account that would help courts make fairer decisions, particularly in cases where allegations might be raised about how an interview was conducted. The idea was that by recording every word and gesture, VRI would help minimize disputes over the reliability of interviews and ultimately foster greater trust in the system. But today we see a piecemeal implementation instead of the sweeping reform many had hoped for. So here we are in 2024 asking, what happened to the bold vision of making VRI a core element of law enforcement? Why is the progress still so incremental despite its proven potential benefits? Is it simply the high operational demands, or could there be other factors at play that we're not seeing? Shanmugam's response made it clear that even though the government has the financial capacity for significant investment, the expansion remains restrained by the high resource demand associated with VRI. The question then is, should the government prioritize VRI more aggressively, considering the broader goal of enhancing transparency and accountability in Singapore's criminal justice system? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this complex issue. Do you believe the government is taking the right approach by cautiously expanding VRI, or should it speed up the rollout to fulfill the promises made 6 years ago? Let us know in the comments section below. And if you found value in today's coverage, make sure to hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to our channel 2230 for more in-depth coverage on issues that matter to you. We're committed to bringing you the latest updates with detailed analysis and an open platform for discussion. Stay informed, stay engaged, and let's keep the conversation going.